I think definitely, in terms of value unlocking, I think this is definitely a positive development, and I think the stock has also been reacting positively to this development ever since this news flow came to the market. My sense is that the management is planning a vertical merger, which means that shareholders of ABFRL would be given equal amount of shares for the business based on the valuation of the Madura kind of fashion business, and this has been a very stable contributor to the top line, to the profitability for a very long period of time. So my sense is that this is a welcome move. I think the markets would definitely look at the fact that this branded entity, once it gets listed, is definitely going to enjoy, fair to premium kind of valuations, and where growth potential is, quite solid considering the kind of consumption, trends which we are seeing in the market as of now. And I think even future numbers going forward, specifically for FY25 and 26, once the management throws some more light on the kind of growth potential the management sees in this business as an independent entity, that would actually drive valuations even going forward. So I think net it's a good positive for ABFRL, and obviously for the shareholders, because they would be able to bet on a premium kind of garmenting business as a separate entity. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think, if you look at the order book of all these companies like Bharat Electronics, Data Patterns, Hindustan Aeronautics, Bharat Dynamics, all of them are sitting on at least the next 18 to 24 months of order book, which is giving them very strong visibility. And I think, the latest BrahMos deal, which has been culminated, is going to obviously benefit players like Data Patterns. Bharat Electronics, which also was mentioned on the show, obviously is sitting on a very large order book of almost 30,000 odd crores. So my sense is that, going forward, if one were to take a position in any of these defense companies, while the opportunity is extremely attractive and large, I think one needs to take a slightly longer term view of at least next 12 to 18 months. One could definitely see significant upside over the longer term, but in the short term, I think most of the stock prices have multiplied significantly. So you could expect kind of a shorter term kind of, a normal kind of price range, some consolidation happening here. But I think these are defensive bets, and most importantly, post the elections, once the new government comes in, we could be getting some further announcements, on the defense budget, which the market is keenly awaiting. So I think, from a portfolio point of view, one can definitely chip in at current levels, but keeping a time frame of at least 12 to 18 months. In the short term, the stocks may remain range bound, but longer term, yes, the risk reward is still looks pretty good. Yeah, I think clearly, demand trends seem to be showing that there has been some uptick, specifically in metals like copper, where prices have shot up quite significantly. My sense is that, you'll have to wait for at least another 1 or 2 months to, confirm whether this is a sustained kind of rise. And once, China sees a very resurgent demand and starts, buying metal in a big way in the global market, then that is definitely going to impact prices positively. We have been seeing that China has not been a big buyer in the metal market for a very long time. Demand has been quite depressed for a long period of time. So I think, yesterday's up move is definitely welcome, but I think you need to have at least 1 or 2 months of confirmation to ensure that these trends are slightly sustainable and medium term in nature, because, commodity prices are volatile. But I think copper specifically is definitely showing good signs. I think globally the prices have shot up. There's been some supply constraints. So I think we'll have to wait and watch. But definitely, I think metals as a kind of an asset play, specifically, looking at companies like Hindalco, or for that reason, Vedanta, Tata Steel, they could be considered for a slightly medium to long term position, because most of the risk has been factored into the price. So I think you will have to wait for the March quarter to get over, and obviously hear out the commentary from most of these companies, which would give you a better indication of what things are going to happen in the current financial. So I think, the stock looks pretty interesting, considering this JV between BMW and Tata Technologies, which is a 50-50 joint venture, looks to be a very promising opportunity. Of course, we would be getting more data points, once the March quarter numbers are released by the company, and we could get some interaction from the management commentary on this deal. But I think, fundamentally, Tata Technologies appears very promising, considering the fact that, the cash flows in this business are extremely robust. They are a debt-free company. And most importantly, they've got a decent order book, at least for the next 12 to 18 months. And they operate in the niche ERD, kind of space, where I believe, they've got marquee clients. They've been working in the aerospace sector with Airbus also in a very close manner. So my sense is that probably this year should be a good takeoff year for them. FY25 looks definitely much better compared to last year. And if they sign up some new deals, the markets would get definitely a solid comfort from this fact. In fact, you're right in saying that after the listing, the stock touched a high of 1400 rupees, then it got corrected to 1000 odd rupees. And again, now the stock has again started showing some positive momentum. So I think, from a longer term perspective, this could definitely be added in your portfolio. I think definitely looks promising, but I think you need to give a time frame of at least 12 to 15 months to get a decent risk reward going on from here. Management now tackles the youth market by introducing some new products, by ensuring that its marketing is more aggressive. I think that is going to decide the next phase of growth for Bata. I think from a fundamental perspective, over the next say 12 to 15 months, if the company does its marketing right and hits out at the right target segment, then I think you could see numbers improving. And I think probably the first quarter of this financial year, that is FY 24-25, would be a very keen season to watch. My sense is that they already have now transformed into a lifestyle brand, but how they focus on the youth segment is going to be important. So I think valuations apart, the market would be looking at
Right.
the kind of the company puts in. So it's a hold, but fresh buying is only after we see the numbers, when they come out.
Okay.